Hello? Hello, 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 hello. John Beattie here. Dinosaur News, produced by the British People's League. And as of this moment, I am still the International Director of the British People's League. I've been asked by the press, well, you're the director, it must be something. Just friends. Friends who like to remember our British history, the days of pride, the days of valor. Speaking of valor, we can think of John Tyndall, who led the British National Party, passed away. John Tyndall makes you think of valor, as does Lord Nelson. I put the Candor people in the same category. Candor, producers of the second edition of the book by A.K. Chesterton, Facing the Abyss, just out this August, this very month. A.K. Chesterton's brilliant appraisal of the liberal disease and corrupt society which has ravaged our country, indeed the world, over the past few decades, and will continue to do so unless and until we get a grip on ourselves and adopt a more rational, responsible, and purposeful attitude toward life and its problems. It is a dynamic summary as to how those of British stock lost their empire and down the tubes pretty well. And I am totally honored, of course. Never had a book dedicated to myself. This second edition is dedicated to the British Canadian patriot John Beattie. Quite an honor. Underneath is Drake's Prayer. So when you purchase the book, you can read Drake's Prayer. It's a masterpiece. Under 200 pages, summarizing the downfall in detail of our stock around the globe. Hopefully warning us in time that we can come back. And at the same time, that's how busy Candor people are, is their news bulletin to serve as a link between Britons all over the world in protest against the surrender of their world heritage. The July edition is just coming to people in the mail now. So get in touch with Candor, C-A-N-D-O-U-R, candor.org.uk. How are you today? August 12th, 2014. Thought we'd better make an appearance. I guess Beattie's been pouting. Those few who have donated, of course it's appreciated and you know it because I've thanked you on the blind copy list. But those people who make false promises make me sick. It's not the money involved here. It's we do need some help to cover the production of these YouTubes. The YouTube itself doesn't charge, but the overall situation, the webmaster should be getting tokens. The server, you can imagine there's pesos that have to be paid out. Sure, the Mexican organizations, they pay the pesos for their groups. The Jewish groups support their organizations. So it's about time those of British stock did. I know Candor gets by, as they have been founded for so many very years, and they've got loyal people, thank God, because they're the only stability of patriotic groups in Britain. There are many groups showing up, but the politicking, you'd think they were in power and they're just small groups. But Candor is consistent. There's no false promises. They produce the goods, retaining our history of our heroes, Lord Nelson, Robin Hood, John Tyndall, founder of the British National Party. These are our heroes. I will throw another screenshot here. As said in previous videos, I am running as a candidate in the municipality of Minden Hills, Ontario, Canada, for the position of Deputy Reeve. Well, I'll substitute the word Reeve for mayor, but really in a small little village area, Reeve is the token word instead of mayor. So Deputy Reeve. And we're keeping it separate. We have a separate web page that our poster is appearing on. Elect John Beattie, for Deputy Reeve of Minden Hills. 20 years of paralegal experience. Negotiation skills required for Minden Hills Council meetings. Will fight for you, the taxpayers of Minden Hills. Contact. And also you will find information on the campaign on this website, johnbeattie.moonfruit.com, as wacky as the term sounds. www.johnbeattie.moonfruit.com. And we're trying our best to keep the two separate. Of course, people are interested in how I'm doing in that situation, so click in the website for that specific purpose. I'm running because some people have asked me to run, and the township is desperately in need of strong backup as a Deputy Reeve. Okay, so that's taken up a lot of time too. I can't say that I'm just boycotting Dinosaur News due to pouting over false promises, but also I've had to do a lot of newspaper interviews, a lot of filling out forms for information as to where I stand for the taxpayers, etc. There's a lot of time consumption there for sure. But again, you know, money talks, and not personal money, but just so I don't have to take it out of my pension. I don't want to be as cold this coming winter as I was last winter. Thanks for a dedicated party who sent 2 beautiful sweaters, kept me going last winter. That's how dramatic it is. But yet the people are out there. The hits and visits show there's a massive interest, especially when we do another YouTube. And I just pin it down to people just probably think that their $10 doesn't help. Well, every dime does help, so please consider it. And we will do the YouTubes accordingly. Of course, after the election, October 27th, in spite of the in or out of donations, I'll probably get back to more frequent Dinosaur News coverage. So how are you anyway? I'm hanging on. It's a pleasure doing this YouTube Dinosaur News for those sincere friends of Mother Britannia, friends of the British People's League. You know who you are, because I flood your mailboxes with information on our shadow cabinet. You'd like to receive our hot confidential news flashes, news bulletins? You have to get to know us through britishcanada@gmail.com, britishcanada@gmail.com. And after a few months of good email exchanges, then we would consider putting you on the blind copy list. That's the scoop. And believe me, the shadow cabinet, the blind copy list people send me all kinds of ideas, and I bounce off of them. I get a good editorial or a good suggestion from one, I bounce it off all the other people on the blind list. So it really is time consuming, and it really is a pleasure doing so. And as you can see, the networking with the Candor people keeps my spirits up for sure. And our blind copy list. But the people we can do without are people who make false promises. No use for them whatsoever. So if you're just going to make false promises, why don't you just dwindle off to CNN News or, you know, the National Post or whatever turns your fancy, but don't bug us, okay? So, summer weather. I've done 2 practice runs of this video that zapped out the YouTube, so hopefully 3 strikes and you're out, or 3 strikes and you're in, or maybe a home run with this running. Actually, I may cut this one short while we're still going good, so it doesn't show up saying disconnect, reconnect, and all the technical crap. Well, we're still here. We're still here for you, the good, true blue pals out there. The real conservative deep blue from the good old days. And I think of all of you in the blind list all the time. You're my buddies, male and female. I've said in the past, the female input, Friends of the British People's League, far outweighs the male input. It's as simple as that. That's a fact. Don't ask me the reason or how that's turned out. The daily news, well, we leave it up to you. People have eyes. They can see what's going on. Is it Missouri? The rioting going on right now. I mean, it's just there. It's not going to go away. And the fact that the statistics have pointed out for the first time in the history of America in the public school system that whites are the minority. That means all the other minorities combined outweigh the whites. Whites no longer are the majority in the classrooms, 49%. So look at the old dinosaur news episodes. We've led up to this, haven't we? But I will say the strongest leadership out there to date right now is Candor League. They're consistent and they produce. So look up to them. And we're their buddies, for sure. Okay, I am mighty tempted to call this quits for today while it's working. Okay, so we're still here. We're still alive. Speaking of staying alive, we'll last till 92 at least. Alistair Cook, the old BBC broadcaster, Letter from America. He broadcast till he was 90 years old. So we got a lot of time left. Okay, folks, we're going to cut it short like that because we do not want to lose this this YouTube. This Dinosaur News brought to you August 12th, 2014. We'll talk to you next time, depending what kind of mood I'm in. Fair enough. Bye for now.